Why are Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds pretending they're skipping the Met Gala tonight instead of just acknowledging they weren't invited?
Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds didn't attend the Met Gala, but were they rejected from it?
Tonight, the Met Gala's grand staircase glittered like an avalanche of diamonds under museum lights. But every seasoned fashion reporter noticed the same phantom outline on the red carpet, an empty space where Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds normally deliver paparazzi gold.
Blake and Ryan won't be at tonight's Met Gala. The couple's plans were revealed in March by multiple outlets, including TMZ. On March 21st, a source told Us Weekly that the news is actually not surprising, saying she's not a Kardashian that goes every year.
For the third straight year, the couple's absence was explained with tidy phrases like taking a break or focusing on family.
Saying Blake and Ryan haven't gone since 2022 when they were co-chairs, and they will not be in attendance this year.
Yet whispers backstage suggest a very different reality. Their names reportedly never even graced the final guest list vetted by the notoriously selective Anna Wintour.
Or they just didn't really want to put themselves out there with all of the scandal.
And if there's anything sharper than the pins holding couture gowns together, it's Wintour's willingness to ice out formerly favored faces. So pull up a front row seat. From plantation wedding backlash to a billion-dollar legal brawl, we're unpacking why Hollywood's power pair went from red carpet royalty to persona non grata, while pretending it was all their idea.
She's obsessed with the Met Gala. She's obsessed with being seen. You know she wants to go.
By the end, you'll see how the most dramatic fashion statement of 2025 might be the one a superstar never got to make. Flashback to 2022, Blake Lively descends the Met Gala steps in that now legendary copper to turquoise dress that transformed mid-carpet, drawing 30 million social media views in a single night. She was a co-chair, a muse, practically fashion nobility.
They're not going. This woman who loves fashion, who, whether you like her fashion or not, I think it's abhorrent.
Fast forward to 2023, 2024, and now 2025. 3 consecutive galas, 0 sightings. Publicists fed magazines a series of lightweight explanations, conflicting film schedules, private milestones, just taking a breather. Yet multiple Vogue floor managers leaked the same detail. Blake and Ryan's seats were never reserved in the first place. One insider quipped their names were tagged "Do Not Print," like a misaddressed wedding invite. Industry veterans know this kind of quiet exile isn't random. Wintour rarely rescinds a metaphorical crown overnight. She simply stops sending the carriage.
She got this Time Magazine Civil Rights Titan Award and all of that. We know the woman has done blackface. We know the woman got married on plantation.
The couple's social channels offered no convincing alternative narrative, no charity mission abroad, no undeniable timeline clash, just curated selfies and brand placements. Fans started counting days since their last bona fide red carpet walk, noting the pattern. High-profile controversies erupted, then Met invites evaporated. It's the social equivalent of everyone at lunch turning silent the moment you approach the table. And remember, the gala isn't just a party. It's where multi-million-dollar ambassadorships ignite.
And why? Why do you have to make up stories like that? I just don't get it.
An absent star forfeits more than champagne. They lose the whispered deals reached between exhibits. Which begs one question. What could possibly outweigh that kind of currency? To answer, we step into a courtroom saga where reputation has a price tag large enough to break a nonprofit. But first, if you thought red carpet exile was dramatic, wait until you follow the paper trail of legal filings that splintered a friendship, drained a charity, and threatened to turn Hollywood allegiances on their heads.
Amongst the powerful people in Hollywood. She's not talking about women in power. She is protecting women in power.
In December 2024, Blake Lively stunned industry blogs by filing a sweeping harassment complaint against director-producer Justin Baldoni, alleging verbal intimidation, creative sabotage, and a so-called character assassination campaign tied to their stalled film collaboration. Baldoni counterpunched with a $400 million defamation suit, accusing Blake's camp of fabricating claims to wrestle editing control and block box office profit shares.
Sad news, Justin Baldoni's foundation is shutting down.
Suddenly, Hollywood's golden rom-com duo stood on opposite ends of a legal canyon, and Ryan Reynolds, Blake's longtime partner in sarcasm and brand sponsorships, was subpoenaed for correspondence. These aren't tabloid tidbits. The discovery list reportedly tops 0.5 terabyte, emails, raw footage, even Slack logs from the post-production suite. Because money follows mayhem, collateral damage emerged fast. Baldoni's Wayfarer Foundation, once hailed for delivering mobile mammography units to underserved regions, announced a phased shutdown so it could redirect cash toward towering legal fees. Donors expressed heartbreak. Accountants called it triage. The meltdown also scared big studio insurers, who suddenly had to calculate the risk of Blake or Ryan missing press tours if court dates interfered. Brands loathe uncertainty. L'Oreal quietly shelved an ad campaign. A luxury fragrance house placed its spring rollout under strategic review. For the Met, where every table costs six figures and brand optics matter as much as beadwork, inviting a headliner entangled in an epic lawsuit looked downright reckless. According to sources at Condé Nast, Wintour's team wanted no part of being subpoena adjacent, should the trial timeline bleed into gala prep. Meanwhile, gossip accounts documented Blake's evolving stress wardrobe. Oversized hoodies. One day, haute couture trenches the next, as if toggling between vulnerability and invincibility. Ryan, usually chatty online, fell nearly silent. Fans counted the longest gap in his tweet history since 2011. These silences speak louder than any PR statement. A storm is coming, and even the best joke can't redirect lightning. And yet, looming courtrooms aren't the only skeletons rattling. Some scandals age like milk, especially when a Black culture-inspired gala theme brings them back under fluorescent museum lighting. Rewind further. September 2012, Boone Hall Plantation, South Carolina. Blake and Ryan marry beneath moss-draped oaks once used to line slave quarters. At the time, mainstream magazines applauded the rustic elegance and published mood boards of mason jars and burlap runners. Critics of romanticizing plantation imagery were dismissed as oversensitive. But history's bill comes due, and by the late 2010s, the wedding photos revisited social media like a ghost insisting its story be told correctly. Fast forward to Met Gala 2024. The Costume Institute celebrates Sleeping Beauty's reawakening fashion, spotlighting garments linked to Black style and dandyism. In 2025, curators double down, honoring designers of African diaspora who reimagined tailoring. Imagine Blake posing in archival couture, while Twitter threads circulate screenshots of her old blog, Preserve, where she once posted an antebellum-themed blueberry muffins for a slow summer south. Critics coined the phrase slave kitchen chic, and the meme stuck like flour on an apron. Things got messier when amateur digital artists created AI mock-ups of Blake, showing up in plantation print ball gowns carrying, yes, a tray of muffins. The parodies were so on-brand that casual scrollers thought the images were real leaks. Each repost garnered thousands of incredulous comments. There's no way she'd be that tone-deaf, right? The inability to answer with certainty illustrated the brand decay more vividly than any press analysis. Met organizers, ever mindful of overshadowing the exhibition itself, reportedly decided a Blake cameo would hijack the night's conversation before a single headline dress hit the carpet. Better to let the controversy play itself out off-site than risk a mid-gala blow-up. Blake's camp faced a stark choice: court the invite and risk public flogging, or pretend skipping was strategic self-care. They chose the latter, but the internet saw the gap between narrative and reality, and screenshots live forever. Still, one archived plantation shoot isn't as damning as a broadcast sketch scrubbed from existence, and every new upload of that clip reignites fury. December 2009, Studio 8H. Blake hosts Saturday Night Live. Amid the skits is one segment lost to time, officially anyway. Lively dons a neon wig, exaggerates an accent, and performs a caricature of a ratchet Black woman. Live audiences roared then, but tastes evolve. What was once edgy now lands as cringe. NBC has spent years auto-flagging re-uploads under copyright, yet the Streisand effect guarantees each takedown only amplifies curiosity. In 2024, a TikTok creator spliced 6 hidden seconds before the algorithm struck, captioning, "Remember when this was peak comedy?" The clip snagged 8 million views in 12 hours, sparking debates about how easily mainstream platforms allow privileged stars to erase problematic content. Commenters asked, if nothing's wrong with the sketch, why bury it? Conversely, if the content is so offensive NBC must silence it, why hasn't Blake publicly addressed or apologized? Media scholars jumped in, pointing out that content removal can morph into reputation laundering. The hashtag #DisappearingBlake trended for a week, inviting fresh scrutiny during gala season. For Met organizers, that meant any photo of Blake on the red carpet risked being meme-stitched next to a low-resolution freeze frame of the banned sketch. Hardly the imagery sponsors crave beside priceless couture. Meanwhile, Blake's defenders argued the sketch must be weighed against era context. Opponents counter, true growth involves acknowledgement, not digital erasure. The impasse left a bitter taste that no amount of PR spin could sweeten. And as the clip resurfaced every few months, it served as an alarm bell, reminding brands of unresolved baggage. Yet image issues aren't always about offenses. Sometimes it's the constant drip feed of minor fabrications that erodes trust faster than a single scandal. During a breezy 2023 Late Night with Seth Meyers segment, Blake smiled and shared a fun fact. One daughter, she claimed, was born on the same day as both Napoleon Bonaparte and Jennifer Lawrence, August 15th. The audience giggled. Seth offered a mock-shocked eyebrow. Hours later, fan accounts produced birth registration dates: December 16th, September 30th, October 4th, and February 12th. None matched August 15th. Casual observers might shrug. Celebs misspeak. But pattern hunters compiled other eyebrow-raising tales. Blake reminiscing about growing up in the middle of nowhere Pasadena. She attended Burbank High. Ryan recalling a beloved Canadian aunt who genealogists determined doesn't appear in family records, both telling wildly different stories about who first said "I love you." Some details seem harmless, yet the cumulative effect suggests brand engineering rather than authenticity. Red carpet interviewers started sneaking in mild fact checks, and the couple's easy banter occasionally stalled when a timeline didn't. A line. Even Ryan's trademark humor felt strained. Jokes land best when audiences sense a stable truth beneath the punchline. One viral compilation titled "Blake and Ryan, Myth and Reality" clocked 12 million views in a week, dissecting 10 questionable anecdotes. Comments ranged from playful, Hollywood's cutest unreliable narrators, to scathing, "If you lie about your kid's birthday, what won't you lie about?" For sponsors, consumer trust equals revenue. A skincare conglomerate reportedly inserted a reputation clause into its renegotiation draft, demanding social media accuracy statements. That's corporate speak for "we're nervous." When brands approach partnerships like deposition prep, the red carpet invites dry up too. Corporate jitters translate into action quickly, and the entertainment giants paying for Met tables started covering their backs even faster. In April 2025, Marvel Studios quietly filed an amicus request in the Baldoni Lively defamation suit, asserting its IP development schedules might suffer material harm if depositions dragged key talent into months-long litigation. The legal move signaled something bigger. Blockbuster franchises were building escape hatches. Another hint. A premium jewelry line froze an ad spot featuring Blake hiking a glacier in diamond drop earrings, an image shot months earlier but suddenly too risky to air. Behind closed doors, stylists whispered about canceled fittings. One Parisian maison redirected a custom couture slot from Blake to Zendaya within 48 hours. Photographers reported last-minute photo call cancellations. It wasn't just about legal uncertainty. Studios and brands sensed the cultural tide turning. A mislanded endorsement during heated social justice conversations can kneecap quarterly profits. In risk analysis spreadsheets, Blake's columns started flashing yellow, then red. Meanwhile, Ryan faced collateral fallout. His gin brand, Aviation American Gin, thrives on his charismatic promo bits. But snarky commenters flooded posts. "Is your gin plantation approved?" The quip cut deep. Marketing teams debated whether a joke cooling period was needed. By gala season crunch time, corporate seat buyers, a mix of tech billionaires, luxury maisons, and streaming giants, listed invitees that double as brand ambassadors. Someone battling a PR minefield inches from a court trial no longer felt like a safe bet. The result? The couple's names evaporated from spreadsheets before the first mood board reached the Costume Institute. While corporations tightened purse strings, grassroots internet historians loosened theirs, digging up old interviews that made even hardened PR strategists cringe. Spring 2025, a Norwegian journalist's lost 2016 press junket footage finally hit YouTube after 7 years in a private Google Drive. In it, Blake, promoting a Woody Allen film, reacts to a mild question about the director's controversies with a frigid smile, an eye roll, and a curt, "I'm sorry, next question." The clip is only 40 seconds, but emotional analysts dissected her micro-expressions frame by frame. TikTok dubbed it Mean Girl Masterclass. Within days, creators layered the video beside Blake's 2020 Vanity Fair quote about lifting other women's voices. The side-by-side montage exploded on social, racking up 15 million loops. The internet's verdict? The girl power branding rings hollow when basic accountability gets the cold shoulder. Then came the meme blitz. AI engines placed Blake in flamboyant antebellum gowns labeled 2025 collection, or next to Taylor Swift with a Comic Sans speech bubble. "My daughters have Napoleon's birthday. Totally real." What made the jokes sting is how plausible they seemed. Real life started imitating parody. And if your brand can't be separated from a spoof, sponsors panic. Across Reddit, threads aggregated Blake's top 10 rewrite moments. From blueberry muffins to the vanished SNL skit, each rankled fan saw a once relatable star tilting ever more artificial. One commenter summarized, "It's like she's running her entire life through Photoshop's liquify tool. Stretch, smooth, tweak, but eventually somebody zooms in." All. Signs pointed to a public ready to close the tab on the Blake Ryan fairy tale at the exact moment the Met Gala rolled out its carpet. And fashion never loves a stale narrative. When livestream hosts scanned this year's arrivals, they hesitated over two pristine invitations placed on a mirrored table, reportedly the only duo not collected. Camera operators were instructed to avoid lingering on the blank nameplates. But you can't hide an absence so conspicuous. Commentators on X and Threads mock-tweeted, "The Met's theme tonight? Ghosting in high fashion." Fans weren't the only ones speculating. Investment analysts noticed Blake's lifestyle beverage startup spiked in refund requests the same week. Coincidence? Maybe. But public sentiment shapes pocketbooks. A lack of transparency, combined with mounting lawsuits and aged poorly footage, turned the once darling couple into brand kryptonite. Even casual viewers dissected body language when the pair finally appeared at a Film Society fundraiser 2 nights later. Blake's smile looked clenched. Ryan's tie, usually art school loosened, sat immaculate, as if overcorrecting. Paparazzi yelled questions about the Met. Both ignored them. By morning, headlines read, "From co-chair to no chair, how?" Blake and Ryan lost fashion's favor. In the influencer economy, reputation shifts fast. One day, you're the algorithm's favorite face. The next, you're a cautionary Stitch video on a Gen Z explainer page. Similarly, a gala seat once considered a birthright can vanish, swallowed by a void of risk analysis and audience fatigue. 3 years ago, Blake Lively commanded the Met Gala's lens with a color-changing gown so spectacular it overshadowed commissioned art installations. Tonight, she commanded attention through sheer vacancy. No flashbulbs exploded, no reporters swarmed, yet the silence thundered through the temple of Dender. Because sometimes the loudest message isn't delivered by sequins and silk, but by a door that stays respectfully, mercilessly closed. In a digital age where every slip, every screenshot, every archival clip remains one deep dive away, image, maintenance becomes a high-wire act without a safety net. Blake and Ryan's red carpet reign reveals a simple truth. Curated perfection endures only until the public crowdsources the unedited footage. The Met Gala didn't merely decline an RSVP, it staged a real-time referendum on performative redemption arcs. And in doing so, it warned every aspirant in couture, seats don't care how carefully you craft a caption. So as the custodial crew sweeps stray feathers and shattered crystals off the marble tonight, one question lingers louder than the DJ, parting echo. When the next scandal hits, will Hollywood's glossed facades hold? Or will the spotlight of collective memory crack them all the same? Stay tuned, because the trial docket is stacked. The memes are loading, and the red carpet rolls out again in just 12 short months. Until then, remember, the Met may archive dresses, but the internet archives everything.